By now, you've probably heard that the state legislature finally passed a budget about a month late. A big reason for the delay was the fight over bail reform. Last year's governor's race was closer than many people expected, in part because Republican Lee Zeldin hammered Governor Kathy Hochul on the issue of crime, and he blamed bail reform, which did away with cash bail for many nonviolent offenses. So the governor insisted that, as part of the budget, the state give more discretion to judges to impose bail under some more circumstances. The law no longer requires judges to use the, quote, least restrictive means to ensure a defendant returns to court. The governor is happy about the change, but that's not the case for politicians on her left or her right. Many Democrats say this was an unnecessary change that rolls back progress. Republicans blasted it as not going far enough. Well, tonight we find out where Erie County's top prosecutor stands on it. Joining me live is District Attorney John Flynn, someone who pushed for changes to bail reform. So do you support what we ended up seeing change there, and how much of a difference will it make?
Well, I know I'm probably in the right spot here, Mike, because when one side's against it and one side's for it, they're both against it, and I'm in the middle here, I know it's probably a good law, and I do think it's a good law. I do think that this has the potential to be a big deal, because now judges are going to have more discretion. Now judges are going to have the ability to set bail higher on people, because before, with the least restrictive means, you think about it. I'm a judge, the defendant's in front of me, the judge has the concept now, what's the least restrictive thing I can do? That's gone now. So that means that judges are going to be able to put higher bail on people and, in my opinion, improve public safety.
The impetus for making changes to bail reform when it happened years ago was the spike in crime that we've seen. Part of this came out of the pandemic, right? It wasn't limited to New York State. We saw this in a lot of other places. But that sort of issue aside, we want to look at where crime is right now, and I'll show people what Buffalo's mayor said earlier this week. In the city of Buffalo, these are good numbers, no matter how you square it, right? Violent crime down 11%, homicides down 50%, shootings down 28%. Also got new numbers from New York City today showing shootings and homicides down this April versus a year ago. Is your belief that bail reform will continue to be able to see these crime numbers go down from very high levels where they were?
Absolutely. And you got to remember, these numbers are compared to last year. What the true numbers you want to compare them to are before bail reform, which just happens to be before COVID, all right? So the bail reform kicked in on January 1st, 2020. COVID came March of 2020. So what we need to do is compare these numbers this year with 2019, 2018, and we're still higher. And so hopefully now this tweak to the bail reform will keep having those numbers go down.
Aside from bail reform, the governor also announced some other items in the budget to help law enforcement, and specifically to help with public safety and district attorneys' offices. I want to play part of what she said about that earlier today.
But I know that changing bail laws won't solve all our problems. I never said it would. So we're investing in aid for prosecution and defense funding all across the state, so the criminal justice system can function efficiently. And that's why we're providing district attorneys across the state $170 million to help do their job.
The governor also announcing $100 million for prosecution and defense funding, a bump in pay for public defenders. But when it comes to that dollar figure she gave there, it's a big one, $170 million. What are you going to get out of that, and what are you going to do with it?
I'm going to get a lot out of it, because the way it works, Mike, is that the percentages are based upon the size of your county. So Erie County is going to get a good chunk of that, over $100 million. And so that money is going to go toward all of us in law enforcement. And me in the prosecutor's office, hire more prosecutors, improve our IT for discovery, improve our infrastructure to communicate with the Cheektowaga Police Department, Amherst Police Department, to get the discovery in faster and get it out the door faster so we can comply with the laws. So this money is huge. This money is helpful. I applaud the governor. I can't thank her enough. And the bottom line is that at the end of the day, the bail and the discovery money is going to improve public safety. And that's the bottom line.
You talk about discovery money because the discovery law changed as well, and I know
Yes.
that's something that we talked about a lot here. Is that something that wasn't in the budget that you wish maybe had been addressed, or is there anything else public safety-wise that you feel like kind of just didn't make it across the finish line?
Well, there were discussions on changing some of the bail law, some of the discovery laws, but at the end of the day, they went nowhere. And so we have to be realistic. And when you're a realist, you have to recognize that there are those in the legislature, especially the leaders from New York City, who do not want any changes at all. And so the reality is that we're probably not going to get any changes to the discovery laws, at least this year, but the money is certainly going to help.
Just in the 30 seconds that I have left here, do you think, looking at the bail reform tweak as it was, that it strikes the right balance between not putting people in jail just because they don't have money, but also addressing public safety? Does it match that?
Absolutely, because again, it only affects the qualifying offenses, which are the most serious charges. The non-qualifying offenses, the misdemeanors, the low-level nonviolent felonies, they're not touched at all. Those people are not going to be incarcerated, not going to be in pretrial confinement, and it's not going to hurt the lower economic class that we targeted 4 years ago.
Erie County District Attorney John Flynn, I really appreciate you coming in. It's good to get your thoughts on this.